Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is 12 o'clock Newsbreak. In the local scene, the local government unit of Ginubatan has implemented a prohibition on the use, sale, distribution, and advertisement of electronic cigarettes among minors. This is enacted through Municipal Ordinance Number 019-2024, titled An Ordinance Prohibiting the Use, Sale, Distribution, and Advertisement of Electronic Cigarettes to all minors by all persons and all establishments in the municipality of Ginubatan, thereby amending Sections 2 and 3 of Municipal Ordinance Number 09-2013. The ordinance included e-cigarettes as prohibited items for minors, aiming to protect them from exposure to harmful substances. It aligns with Republic Act number 11900, also known as the Vaporized Nicotine and Non-Nicotine Products Regulation Act, which sets the minimum age for the use and sale of e-cigarettes at 18 years old. The ordinance was institutionalized following the Sangguniang Panlalawigan ng Albay's approval of a provincial resolution authored by 1st District Board member Attorney Sheena Marie Onrubia de la Cruz. The resolution validated the ordinance during the SPA Senate 14th regular session on November 12, 2024. In other story, the Albay Provincial Health Office is preparing to conduct a medical mission and provide psychosocial support for families affected by Super Typhoon Pepito in Bagamanok, Catanduanes. Officer in charge, Dr. Estela B. Zanit, emphasized on Monday that in addition to construction materials and basic necessities, mental health and psychosocial intervention remain critical needs for residents in severely affected areas. A 30-member team will be deployed to deliver medical services, including blood pressure checks, ECGs, and basic laboratory tests. The mission will also include the distribution of medicines, hygiene kits, breastfeeding kits, and nutrition supplies to support the affected families. In the national scene, the House Committee is continuously investigating the fiscal activities of the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education and has uncovered troubling details regarding the use of confidential funds under Vice President Sara Duterte. During the 6th hearing, officials faced challenges verifying large expenditures, notably 125 million pesos in just 11 days in 2022, in which a special disbursing officer, Gina Acosta, made under scrutiny for questionable withdrawals from the Land Bank branch. She reportedly accessed substantial amounts of cash. Witness Gina Baya, a former operations officer at Land Bank, disclosed that Acosta made 4 significant withdrawals between December 2022 and September 2023, transporting the funds in large bags. Further complicating matters, former SDO Edward Fajardo allegedly managed to disburse funds to 26 locations across the country in a single day. Both Acosta and Fajardo have failed to attend prior hearings, leading the committee to hold them in contempt and order their arrest. The investigation continues as lawmakers seek clarity on these significant financial transactions. In other story, the Senate, led by Senator Risa Ontiveros, will conduct its final hearing on the illegal operations of Philippine offshore gaming operators on November 26. Ontiveros, chair of the Senate Committee on Women, announced that Former Bamban Mayor Alice Guo and key figures from prior investigations have been invited to attend. New findings related to Chinese espionage in the country will also be discussed, along with criticisms of an executive order that still leaves questions about the status of POGO operations, in which Ontiveros plans to propose reforms aimed at dismantling POGO and other scams preying on Filipinos. Moreover, Ontiveros pointed out that some government officials are allegedly facilitating POGOs by masking them as legitimate businesses. She also highlighted the closure of major POGO operations, which displaced many workers, but expressed optimism about job opportunities arising from a recent Department of Labor and Employment job fair aimed at helping former POGO employees find new employment. In other news, VP Sara Duterte asserts that documents signed by Mary Grace Piatos regarding confidential funds expenditures were not processed through her office, as they were submitted directly to the Commission on Audit by a special disbursing officer. The Vice President declined to comment on Piatos and expressed uncertainty about the procedure for providing acknowledgement receipts to the House of Representatives. This statement comes after the House committee offered a ₱1 million reward for information leading to Piatos, who is linked to the handling of the confidential funds. And in the news outside the country, Ukraine has utilized British French Storm Shadow missiles for the first time in its conflict with Russia. This development follows a recent authorization from the United States allowing Ukraine to employ these advanced weapons. Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov emphasized the country's commitment to decisively countering the Russian offensive. Meanwhile, the Russian military reported discovering fragments of Storm Shadow missiles on their territory. And finally, in the news outside the country, the U.S. Department of Defense has announced an additional military funding package of $275 million for Ukraine as part of the ongoing support ordered by President Joe Biden in September. The new package includes vital military supplies such as ammunition for high-mobility artillery rocket systems, artillery rounds, drones, anti-armor systems, and protective equipment. President Joe Biden has also authorized the use of U.S.-provided missiles against Russian forces. And that's all for the 12 o'clock news break, November 22, 2024. We'll be right back next week for more news updates. And thanks to our 12 o'clock news break writer, Albay Lurejo and Tres Podilia. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. Of course, our Provincial Information Officer, Mary Luduca Castillo. And under the supervision of our Governor, Glendon Bungao, I am Greg Hallare, and thank you for subscribing.